to everyone world over, wherever you are, in different countries, in different time zones, and different conditions. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Of course, things are getting better from the coronavirus now. Things are improving. And I'm pretty sure God should be kind that all countries should get back to normal like it was in January, February, and March. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving ahead because during this pandemic, coronavirus, doctors, nurses, paramedical people, great warriors, they have done a phenomenal, they have done a great job in all countries across wherever they are, and they are to be saluted. At the same time, when 1.86 billion children are away from schools, colleges, universities, polytechnic, ITIs, skill centers, competency-based learning, these children also to be given hand holding. So like doctors, nurses, and paramedical people, all teachers, educator, trainer, skill developer, principal, counselors, technocrats, they have done the great job during this pandemic. And we send our blessings, regards, and salutation to the entire education eco-fraternity across world. 1.86 billion children is not a small number. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry, we extend you a very warm welcome this evening. We have got 459th webinar, and our one focus, one agenda, one program during this pandemic is how to make education relevant. It's a global confluence of our brothers and sisters. Various experts are coming from world over, and we would request you, those are watching this particular program, kindly invite your other friends as well, because today is a very important subject next to my heart. When we talk about education, research, skill, technology, and entrepreneurship, we are going to talk about 8 beautiful states of India. And when we talk about this 8 beautiful states, it's called Northeast part of India. Right, starting from Tripura, coming to Manipur, coming to Assam, going to Meghalaya, going to Arunachal, going to Nagaland, going to Mizoram, going all the way to Sikkim, all the beautiful states. When I talk about these 8 states, they are wonderful people, wonderful states, and their art, their craft, their culture, their cuisine, their dances, their music, their happiness, their lifestyle. They are wonderful people on this planet. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry, we extend a very hearty welcome this evening to Mr. Biswajeet Okram. Mr. Biswajeet Okram has got his roots in India in a beautiful state called Manipur. At present, he is in UK. He is head of the finance and is based out of London. We are proud to have him this evening, because Saturday and Sunday evening at 8 p.m., we bring a special program. Today we are in UK. Tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. straight time, we will be together in Houston, and we will be taking you to United States tomorrow. So let's share this evening. Today is a very important topic. All my children, all my students, all my teachers, all my principals, those are watching this particular program, and particularly from the Northeast part of India, New Education Policy 2020, and what are the career avenues for our Northeast children, Northeast youth, whether they are in school or they are in colleges, they are in universities, or they are taking short-term or long-term skills program. Their capacity building and their empowerment and their growth is very important. So on behalf of International Chamber for Service Industry, we extend a very hearty welcome. India always believes in Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. That means the whole world is one family. We all are together. Heartiest congratulations to Honorable Prime Minister of India, Education Minister of India, all the stakeholders, those are in education. You people have done a wonderful work. And this new education policy, which has come on 29th of July, I think it's remarkable. And once the policy has come, now it is to be implemented. And after it gets implemented, thereafter we go for monitoring part. Now, the Honorable Prime Minister wants to make India self-reliant. India is thinking India is growing. India is becoming self-reliant. And we all have to contribute towards economy, infrastructure, system, demography, and demand. Youngest nation of the world, youngest population of the world, making education accessible and relevant to everyone, one and all, everybody. And the impact of technology on education is remarkable because there is an innovative learning approaches. When we talk about it, now, ladies and gentlemen, gamification is coming in a very big way. Music therapy is coming in a very big way. Singing, dancing, humming, music, and what all you can think of. Our chamber from morning till evening, 12 hours. Can you imagine that this is the last program we started in the morning at 9 o'clock with all of you? And today we had a very big program for 1,000 principals as well. Now, when we talk about this, soft skills are very important for children. Of course, hard skills are there, you acquire, but soft skills are very important and life skills are very important. That is what we got to think about: your creative thinking, critical thinking, logical thinking, analytical thinking, decision making, your creativity, your collaborative, your communication skills, all that is very important. And our chamber is proud to share. We have been organizing various programs in different states of Northeast from time to time. These are some of the very prominent mega international summits being organized in Northeast part of India with various state governments and union government, that is different ministries. With Ministry of Commerce, we had services exports, very big kind of an interaction in Manipur. Before that, we had in other states. At the same time, our chamber worked on international conference that Guwahati to become hub of basically aviation for the entire Northeast. And now the Imphal airport is also coming up in a very big way with a cargo facility, landing direct flight from a couple of places coming all the way to Imphal. At the same time, there was a Northeast Business Summit which took place at Guwahati, and that was where all the states participated in a very big way. Thereafter, we had inauguration of the ASEAN Study Center in Nehu, because earlier it was look east policy, now it is act east policy. So in Nehu, 8th and 9th of August, that is Northeast Hill University, a particular area which was given to ICSSR, and there the 8th and 9th of August was the inauguration of the ASEAN Study Center. And then there was another business summit which took place in Manipur. We wish to share that as well, 7th to 9th of April 2016. Then in Mumbai, because these children have got great talent, these children are very innovative, very creative, very dynamic. So there was a very big program we organized on cinematic tourism, destination Northeast part of India with ASEAN. All the 10 countries participated in this particular program. And this was for media, entertainment industry, radio, television, theater, music, films, animation, artificial intelligence, whatever we can think of. Now we are working on incubation center, finishing lab for soft skill and life skill, and Atal Tinkering Lab from our chamber. There are 37 sector skill councils. We worked with health sector skill council. Then we came to wellness sector skill council. From there, we moved on and further we came, ladies and gentlemen, to entrepreneurship sector skill council. And nowadays we are with the media entertainment sector skill council. We all are together. Our chamber is organizing almost 26 webinars per week. And everything is to empower the education, skills, competencies, capacity building, what all children can do from time to time. Youth empowerment, along with that teachers empowerment, and this is what we wish to share with the entire world. In the last 8 to 9 months, the research what we have carried, the world will have new order post-COVID. We have to get back to the basics of life. We have to have sustainable development. When we talk about it, ladies and gentlemen, your basic food, your basic health, and your basic education, that is something very important. Now, whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe, ladies and gentlemen, it can achieve. Let's come together, making education relevant. All of us together from world over. Global confluence of educators, inspirational speakers, motivators, technocrats, counselors, wellness experts, corporate, government administrators, decision makers, all of them together. And right over here is the website www.icsiindia.in. And here is the email address, and down below is our contact WhatsApp number. This evening, this morning, this afternoon, because you're in different time zones, in America, in Canada, in Latin America, it's a morning. In London and Europe, you have got post-afternoon lunch time. And when we talk about India, it's a dinner time. And when we talk about Northeast, after this webinar, sleeping time. So, ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very hearty welcome to Mr. Biswajeet Okram, Head of the Finance, Thermit, Welding, UK, United Kingdom. He is joining us from London. And today, our focus is going to be on Northeast Indian youth and their development from NRI perspective. So join me in extending a very hearty welcome to Mr. Okram. He's right over here from London. He's joining all of us, and we extend him a very warm welcome. It's a pleasure to have you today with us, and you are live with the whole world now. Let you share your vision, what our youth should do, what they can do, how would you like Northeast to further develop and prosper. Honorable Prime Minister and as well as the donor minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh, along with the Prime Minister, they're doing great job for the Northeast. At the same time, respective chief ministers and the governing bodies, they are doing their own work. Ministry of Education, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, they are doing their work. And we would like your vision. You have gone abroad, you chose a particular field, you settled over there. What would you like to tell as an inspiration to the younger generation of Northeast part of India? With these words, Biswajeet Okram.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sharma. It's a great pleasure that you have given me this opportunity in your platform. I would be really happy if some of my words can reach out and encourage the youth in India in general and the youth in the Northeast in particular. I would like to share some of the slides because the focus being the education. I was just going through the education policies that India has been having and the new one that just got approval in July this year. And it is so vast and enormous that, I am not capable to go through and give my opinion on this because I'm not expert in the field. But I just picked up one point which I would like to share and dwell upon. It is the age of the primary education that is going to be made compulsory, and also the number of drops out that India is currently having. And I just want to compare with other developing economies and the major economies and the underdeveloped worlds, and how we can use that, and then how we can develop our skills, and particularly in my field, how we can gain out of this. So yeah, I just want to share this slide and then go on from there. Is it all right?
Sure, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Is it visible now?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Education policy and skill development in financial literacy, perspective from across the world. Great.
All right. So yeah. So finance has been an integral part of education in every stages of studies in the European countries and developed worlds that I have been away for the last 15 years. So I was going through some sort of investigation. I was just doing a quick research that how far India is in terms of the drops out, in terms of the age. And I got some statistics, and that's quite interesting. So I want to share with everybody. This is just a general, data that's available in the UNICEF's or OECD's website or European Union website. And most of these data are, of 2019. They are rounded up, may not be 100% accurate, but they are not too far from the correct figures. So why I want to show about the the GDP and the primary school age and dropout, because they are so correlated. You can see that in these large economies, the average primary school is about 5. Whereas in the poorest countries of the world, the average primary school compulsory is 7 years. So it is agreeable that in this 2020 July new education policy, I found out that the government of India is trying to make education compulsory from the 3 years of the age of a child. So that is what the France is having, as you see here. So the France has a compulsory education right from the 3 years of the child. So it is making sense. And I was also going through the dropout rates, as you see that interestingly, the major economies, large economies, the dropout rates are far, far smaller than the underdeveloped economies. You would see the poorest countries in the world that I have on my right side in the PPT, I don't know which side you are seeing in your system, has more than 20%. Some of them has 67, 66, so it's quite lots of difference in terms of the dropout. So what does it say? It says that, education is directly related to the earning capacity of an individual. It says that. So earning capacity of individuals in the large economies are much higher than these poor countries. And the fact is that students, the children, are educated well there, and the dropouts are far below than the poor countries. Another thing is, if we have to talk about the India's perspective, India's dropout rate is 17.1%. This is the data I got as of 2019. Whereas our primary school age, compulsory age was 5, which of course now going to make to 3. But if you look at the UK has 9.5%. But still, UK is one of the best GDP per capita in the world. So here comes my question is that, you see, I agree that dropout is directly related to the GDP and GDP per capita, but dropout alone is not responsible for that. UK has nearly 10% here, and India has 17%. India is just 7% more than UK. But in terms of the GDP per capita, if you see, India's GDP per capita is just $2,000, whereas the UK is $42,000. It has a vast difference. It has a vast gap between these two per capita incomes of these two countries. And you know why? The answer to the why is the skill development. The skill that the countries like UK develop for the children right from the primary school plays a vital role, in creating the GDP. A child might drop schools, secondary school, but if a child has been inculcated with a skill, even if he or she is out of the school, if she is out of school and is still able to contribute to the economies of the country, that is it. That is it, what we need, in this world, there are many people who drop out from universities. If you give a very bold, big example is Microsoft's Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. They all are drop out from the universities, So what I'm trying to say is that, yes, school dropout is concerned. However, more important than that is the skill development. If the skills are developed, that if a child drop out from the school, the child can use that skill anyway and can contribute to the development of the country. That is my point. And I will show you the graph here, which will be more interesting. For the school dropout and per capita GDP of large economies versus underdeveloped economies. Here, you will see, surprisingly, when it comes to India, as I said earlier, it's about 17%. And whereas, for the likes of the UK, although it is about 10%, the GDP per capita is more than 40,000, same thing, other countries as well, where you see the 10% is about the 10% is about the, I think here comes, yeah, it's about 10% is about the UK, and the US is about 6%. Although 6%, they have the highest per capita GDP, whereas you see here the countries like Japan, countries like China and Korea, they have their dropout much lower than US. They have about, I think Japan has the lowest, I suppose, 0.2% school dropout. China has 1% school dropout. Korea has 2% school dropout. Despite this very small school dropout rates, why the GDP per capita income of the likes of, the France, the US, and UK are much more than them, because the children have had this skill development right from the day one. Right from the day one, they start going to the school. Therefore, skill development is paramount important, in contributing towards the development of the country. And on the other hand, if we see here on the right side, the underdeveloped economies, their dropout rates are, very, very concerning. 70%, 60%, 40%, there are. But at the same time, their GDP is also very poor, and it is not. It is not also fully. It's not also 100% right to say that dropout doesn't directly correspond or related to the GDP per capita. Of course, it is related. It is definitely related. That is a very reason why these countries suffers from the lowest per capita income throughout the throughout the ages, and also lowest per capita income, among all the countries in the world. So what does it say is that, yes, number one, dropout is really bad. Countries like India, 17% dropout is concerning. India needs to do something on this. Why children are dropping out school? If they drop out, what should we do? Because the fact is very glaring here. If you see underdeveloped economies, the very fact that their dropout rates are far concerning, worse than the larger economies, says a lot on their earning capacity, which are near about $1,000 or $400 and $600 and $800. That is per year. So number one is dropout. We have to contain the dropout. And number two is, irrespective of the dropout, we have to develop the skills of the children in right from the day one. And coming up next is that, then how do we develop the skills? There are various ways to develop skills, but since I'm from the field of finance and accounts, I would like to dwell into this area only because that is my specialism. So how do the countries like the UK and Ireland, I have lived in Ireland for about 11, 12 years. Now I have moved into UK about 4 or 5 years ago. So I have experience in these countries that, because I have 3 kids and all my kids are in a primary school at the moment. And I have had the opportunity to experience how they have been educated here in comparison to how I have been educated in India. So here, the premises of the skill development in these 2 countries, in the UK and Ireland. When I say Ireland, is the Ireland Republic of Ireland. I'm not talking about the Northern Ireland of the UK. So they have the foundation of their financial skill development on these 6 premises. One is financial literacy. Second is financial numeracy. Third is financial education. Fourth is financial learning. Fifth is financial capabilities. And then the 6th is financial competence. One might think that, these are all related and these are all the synonymous to each other. Yes, it is. But if you look at, again, very carefully, they're different, So financial literacy, financial numeracy, they are a must for these countries. Therefore, they start teaching the students in the primary school level or the secondary school level these 6 premises right from the beginning in some form or the other. Financial literacy, I mean, for example, talking about stories where buying and selling takes place, making it interesting stories about this thing. That is financial literacy. Children has stories about buying gold and doing the barter system in the olden times. It's kind of bedtime. There are lots of bedtime stories also in relation to this kind of literacy. Financial numeracy, yes, this is numerical, of money counting, all those arithmetical stuff. So these are all started right from the beginning. Financial education, then children are taught here why the financial education is required, why you need to be wise and clever in financial terms in your life. These are the education given to them in their textbooks or in their normal summer camp or other kind of events. And then financial learning, and then they are encouraged to learn more about the finance. And when it comes to the 4th level, then the government started putting all these all these areas into their textbooks. So just so that then they want to formally empower the children with the financial intelligence, the capabilities, and competence. And financial competence and capabilities then is looking at the professional degrees. When one grows up, then he might think or she might think of becoming a professional accountant or qualified accountant or economist or MBA finance or in that particular line. So these are the premises that the UK and Ireland base to develop the skills of children in their financial areas. Then comes here, I was lucky that when I was in Ireland, I was associated with one NGO called Young Achievers. What they do is the model was fantastic. I think they have their offices even in India, but I don't know how much they are functioning and operating there. They link up with all the corporates and they request the corporates, their managers, to go and volunteer at least once once in a week or once in a fortnight, 1 hour class to the primary school or secondary school students, teaching of any subject that he or she is specialized about. So I was requested to teach or to share the experience of how to become a financial professional or how to become an accountant to the young children at the age of 8, 9, 10. So I had the opportunity to associate with that organization, and I conducted about 4 months long, once in a week class with the children, and we did lots of role modeling, and we had lots of fun. And in the end, the children realized that it's so fun to become a accountant or to become a finance manager, and the numerical is so fun. This way it opens up the mind of the child. It opens up the vision. Then the horizon becomes bigger and larger. So this kind of steps, non-profit making organization can contribute in collaboration with the educational institutions, in India. So few things that we did in which I have seen and I have involved myself, and I know happening in UK and Ireland, the techniques to develop the financial skill are like fun and finance game. So children usually are given some sort of they are given some sort of games in their school or in their break days, holidays. So they are motivated that the finance is not a number crunching only. It's a storytelling. It's lots of fun. So in a very in a playful manner, these skills are developed. The skills are pushed into the mind of the children, and therefore children find it very easy to relate when it comes to the real life financing. So this is one technique. Another is role model game by corporate. So as I said, this was what I was into it. So yeah, we go to the class, and then we just picked up one of the, we asked the students who wants to be the finance manager, who wants to be the cashier, who wants to be the salesperson, who wants to be the producer, who wants to be the engineer, that kind of role model of corporate style. And in that role model, we develop the idea in the mind of the children that, yeah, in the world where my daddy works, my mom works, oh, it happens this way. And they have lots of fun in this. And, they try to do best in their own models, whatever they are. So in one instance where I was, and children was so surprised in the end that they didn't realize that how fun it is to work in corporate world or work in the office settings. And they really look forward to become, that kind of professional. So that motivates the children right from the young age, that they are looking forward to become a capable individual, be it finance or be it marketing or be it engineering. So another is my children, which who grew up in Ireland. What I saw them doing was every festival they have this kind of buying and selling fun. So my children were given some tasks saying that, all right, you have to bring something that you can sell in the festival in the school, and you can bring say €2 or £2. You can also buy from others. So at one time I gave papadum to my children, go and sell this, and they sell it. They sell the papadum to their friends, and they bought stuff that the other friends buy it, other friends sell it. So there was a buying and selling, and that was when they were 8 years old. That was when they were 7 years old. And so this kind of transaction, financial transactions, helps the children, learning the financial skills. This is how financial skills are developed. Such things I haven't seen. I don't know about the present context. When I grew up, I haven't seen such thing happen in our schools at the time. And then other thing is, children are very. This is something that I strongly urge to the decision makers, intellectuals in India, that our children should be motivated, should be encouraged to get involved in charity works. Here children right from the infant, the preschool, till the secondary school, they were all motivated to do the fundraising for the charity. So it's not, it has multiple benefits in it. One is, yes, it shows that the helping nature, the kindness, to become a human, to help each other. That aspect, the soft skill, the pure soft skill aspect, children are developed with. Another thing is the financial thing. So the children explains to us when they come from school, saying that, Daddy, Mommy, we would like to raise fund for Alzheimer's or for cancer patients. UK Cancer Foundation, UK Alzheimer Foundation, Irish Heart Foundation. So India must be having lots of this kind of institution, NGOs, and they can use this. They can also collaborate with the college, with the schools, and they can train the schools, the children. That this way, the children, they get trained, and also they gain the financial knowledge out of it. Transactions, they explain to us that why the fund is required, why the money is required, where the money will go, how the money will help the patients. So this is a win-win. This is a win-win transaction. This is a win-win method for the children as well as for the society. So therefore, one of the technique is involving children in the charity fundraising. And this is, they play the role of the typical finance manager, the project financing and stuff like that. So another thing is the fifth one is, earn is a win app. So then, yeah, I have seen some apps where schools help kids having, playful apps where children are asked to play something, and after that, they have this digital currency. Okay, £1, £2, £3, as long as they win it, and if they lose it, then £1 lost, £2 lost. So that way, it helps children developing their numerical ability, their financial skills, their intelligence on the financial management. So digital technology also can be used for helping to develop the children in their, in their skill development process. And the last one is the NGOs. NGOs, I say NGOs, but it can be everybody, maybe a private individuals or maybe, an institution, anybody, they can do live training of primary school students. They can set up, there are so many tools, there are so many methods, so many ways to train primary school students in many ways. One is as I said, the Young Achievers Ireland. Actually, Young Achievers has a global presence, but the Young Achievers Ireland is part of that. There was an NGO, and they were doing a great job for the school children, for the primary children, for primary school children. So likewise, our NGOs also can play a great role in developing skills, especially in the finance and the numerical abilities for our children. Why? Because, see, as I said, that school dropout, primary school dropout, as I said, the UK has nearly 10%. Even then, the GDP per capita is much stronger than the countries like China, countries like even Korea. Why? Because the children here are well trained, their skills are very well developed right from the young age. So if a child drops out the school, he still knows the numerical ability, he still knows how to count, he still has the intelligence of managing his or her finance. And that's how it contributes to the GDP of the country. So it is directly correlated. Although school dropout is not a good thing, but in case if such thing happen, because it happens in US, it is 6%. In case such thing happens, children can always use the skills that they have developed, so far in their studies. And the final slide is about, as I being from the, from the professions of the finance and accounts, I would like to emphasize on the children that, finance and profession is not a bad career. It is a good career. And my argument why it is a good career is summed up in these few points that I put up in this slide. Is the chief of International Accountancy Group says that China alone needs more than 5 million qualified accountants. Becoming a qualified accountant is not really a huge, or it's not a uphill task at all. I was thinking the same thing. And if I have to talk about myself, I was a plain graduate from Delhi University. And after a few years, I just did, after the graduation, I did a small course and I started working in Delhi. But I always wanted to become a chartered accountant. I always wanted to become a qualified professional accountant. But there was a fear. I think it was a misnomer that becoming a qualified accountant is very difficult. It's time consuming. It's a kind of high risk. It's very, that kind of, misnotion was spread around at the time. And although I wanted, I didn't want to take the risks. I got succumbed to those rumors, as I didn't have enough guidance. I didn't have the mentors. I didn't have anybody who can say that, hey, Bish, you can do it. Don't worry about this thing. It all depends on you. If you decide, you can do anything. There was nobody. I was deciding everything on my own. There was nobody who I can shoulder upon. So I just started working after that. And gradually I realized that there is always something that I can do it. And then once we got married, I moved to Ireland. And when I moved to Ireland, luckily I was still given an opportunity by a company as a financial controller. And the Irish mentor, I would say, the Irish boss of mine, he encouraged me to become a qualified accountant. And I was thinking, what? It must be very tough. I don't want to take a risk, because that is a kind of thing I was having while I was in India. But he says that, no, it all depends on you, how you are determined to do that. And then I said, yeah, of course, then let me have a go. And I got determined that I'll try. And I tried while I was still working and sponsored by the company. I tried, and then in 3 years' time, I became a qualified accountant. I became a qualified ICSI in Ireland. Then I realized it's not the one that we were thinking. It's not really difficult. It all depends on how one get motivated, how one wants to do it. And gradually, I also got qualified, in CPA Australia, because that was one of the dreams that I wanted to move into Australia, of course, which I have abandoned that now. So what I'm trying to say is that becoming a qualified accountant is not a field task. It's not a great deal. It all depends on how one is motivated, how one is determined to. Therefore, coming back to this why mold to the path of professional accounting and finance person right from the primary school? The very reason is that the world needs lots of accounting. China alone needs 5 million qualified accountants, but the world has only 2.84 million accountants. So if the whole world goes to China, still we cannot fulfill their requirement. Such is the shortage of this profession. Therefore, I would like to urge the youth of the Northeast to, to have a try to this profession and have a go. And they will definitely, if they are determined, I'm 100% sure they'll get it there. And the world needs more accountants, will need more accountants, qualified accountants in the years to come. And why they will be required? Why it has become more of a requirement now? Because the world is growing, the economies needs it. Every shops and every business institutions needs a compliance requirement. They all need to do standard accounting. They all need to keep the records properly. China did not need this much 5 million qualified accountant earlier. Why they started needing now? Because they're growing the economies above every other countries, and they need to keep their books of account properly. They have to maintain a standard, and hence the need of the qualified accountants. Having said that, another point of why one should become an accountant is that they are highly regarded profession. Accountants are highly regarded professions. Wherever I go, even in India, chartered accountants are regarded very well. Even in developed countries, they're regarded very well. In developed countries, there are various reasons why they are regarded very well. Is that 10% of their country's GDP actually comes from the accounting professions, finance professions, because they are the one who monitor, who knows about money, who knows about the finance, and they are paid so well in these countries. So that's one thing that the government has a very good regard of this profession. That they're contributing quite a lot to the GDP of these countries. Another thing is that accountants. This is something that our people, our accountants back home in India should realize. I think they must already been, but accountant has a very good responsibility. Accountant has an indispensable responsibility in rooting out corruptions, because the standard requires us, the accounting standard requires us to be a whistleblower to the government or to the agencies if we find any wrongdoings of our clients, of our employers. So in countries, in developed countries, one of the biggest reasons for accountants being so well paid and regarded is that they are instrumental in bringing the corruption down. And if all the accountants are whistleblower, then there is very little chance of hoarding the monies and having the black monies in the country or in the economy. And therefore, the role of accountants in rooting out the corruptions, in rooting out the black money is so paramount. And that if our children wants to help in rooting out corruption in India or rooting out the black money, and they want to become a genuine accountant, that is a profession. Another thing is that it is a very good job and there is a very good professional security. Among all the professions in US, there is a statistics saying that accountants has the lowest unemployment rates. Likewise, in developed countries, very few accountants sit at home doing nothing. There is always something to do, to earn for. So very good job security and income security. And the last but not the least is accountant has a very good opportunity for advancement. Today we are all talking about the artificial intelligence. We are talking about digital intelligence, digitalizing anything and everything. Yes, but in the end of the day, the numbers have to be tallied. The numbers have to be matched. The number have to be explained. And who does that? The accountants do it. The professional accountants, they do it. So if one can combine the artificial intelligence along with the profession of the accounts and of finance, that would be the hot cake in the future of the career. I've seen at the moment, there are people who are very good in technology, but they are not sound in the profession. Whereas there are people who are very good in a profession, but they are not sound in technology. But in the future, the person having bought the technology as well as the professional acumen, they are the one who will be in high demand. Therefore, there is a very good opportunity for advancement even in the in the future, in the age of the technology. And one of the best reason that attracts many people to become a professional accountant is salaries and the pay. They are one of the best among all the professions. And we talk about the engineers and the doctors. I was doing one of the calculations on the return on investment. A doctor has to study till MD and become specialist. By the time he has done that, the doctor is nearly about 35, 40 years old. You can become an accountant at the age of 22. You can start earning it. The doctor hasn't earned yet till he becomes 35 or 40 until he becomes a specialist doctor. Talking about engineer take 4 years and then go through all this training. And by the time he becomes an expert, he may be 25 to 30. You can become an accountant right after 20 years of your age, and you can start earning. So return on the investment is much quicker in accountants and finance as compared to other profession. At the same time, in the long run, good security, you're paid more, and therefore, being from that profession, I strongly urge the youth of the Northeast in particular that try about it, go about it. I mean, we from the Northeast, we are very shy about numbers. We're very shy about this profession. I'm from Manipur. In my Manipur, you can count how many chartered accountants are there. There may be hardly 5 chartered accountants in Manipur if you count it, because nobody likes it. People think it's not a good profession or it's very difficult, But I said it is not. It is very good profession. It's not that difficult to crack it. It's not so-called IAS or IPS, which is very, very difficult. So with this, I would like to end and thank you so much to Dr. Sharmaji for giving this opportunity. It's wonderful sharing my thoughts on your platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Biswajeet Okram. You are a great inspiration for children from Northeast part of India. If you close your presentation, then we both can come face to face. And that would be wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. It was such a wonderful presentation which you have shared. So let me just get closer and both of us, we can be together. Yes. So my great gratitudes and thanks to you, Mr. Okram. It was wonderful to have you today. And particularly my children from Northeast part of India, as he has told, he talked about GDP, he talked about skills, he talked about artificial intelligence, he talked about finance, he talked about technology, a lot of things he has told. And then he told, we should not feel shy. Our children should not feel shy. We all got to come forward. We got to look forward. Northeast part of India is a beautiful place, and I'm associated for last about 47 years. And I personally feel it is one of the finest place on this planet. Children from the Northeast, put in your best of efforts, do your best whatever you can. And here is the inspiration for all of you. You can learn, you can pick up whatever thread. Our effort from the chamber is to get the right source, resource, and people who can be inspiration to all of you. So thank you very much, Mr. Biswajeet Okram. I'm pretty sure that children from Northeast will will certainly get into finance management. And you have given some beautiful tips, fun and financial game, role model game by the corporate, earn as you win apps, and also the young achievers, which you have told. I'm pretty sure that all is wonderful for our children. Thank you very much.